Okay, so this one is ongoing, and I'm gonna share my screen with you. So just a recap, I believe we have 6 ladies on the call. Everyone is in the Netherlands except for Danique. Is that correct? Let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from. Okay, now I just have a technical issue trying to find my chat again. I had it last time open. Um, uh, Here we go. Yes. Netherlands, Bali. Okay, good. So let's get started. How excited are you for the call? Press a 1 for the chat in the chat if you're excited. Press a 2 in the chat if it's so, but I expect only once. Let's see what's happening. Okay, everyone is excited. So welcome at the first or the second masterclass, How to Travel the World with Confidence. Last month, I hosted the first call and I received so many beautiful reactions that I couldn't resist to host the second call. So here we are, and I'm here back with brand new insights. So let's get started. So most of you already know me. I'm Latoya, and I am a world traveler. I have been traveling the world for over 7 years now. But on this current trip, I have been abroad for 2.5 years. And by doing so, I completely know that it's not about the journey, it is about the destination. It's about the journey, not the destination. The reason why I'm sharing this is that I am in the Philippines right now. I decided to stay in the Philippines 2 years ago while the world situation got started. And by doing so, I was completely full in travel vibes. I was planning to go to Japan. I was planning to go to Vietnam. But when the world situation hit, I said, okay, I have two choices. Either I decide to stay here in the Philippines, or I return back to the Netherlands. Well, the second one was definitely not an option. And what has brought up me so far is that I have learned so much from it. It's like a journey. It's not about the destination. The destination is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm on a tropical island, and destination is amazing. But it's more about the journey of actually deciding to stay here. If I would have gone back to the Netherlands, I wouldn't have met Tony, my current boyfriend. Number one, that's the journey. You meet a boyfriend at the other side of the world. He is from Spain, and I wouldn't know him. Secondly, I wouldn't have made lost life-lasting friends. I have Filipino friends right now. They will be there for the rest of my life. We build up a long-term relationship with each other. Those are things that is all about the journey. It's not about the destination. It's about actually being here and feeling grateful for what you have accomplished and being able to live in a different way. And what do I mean with in a different way? In the Netherlands, things are rushed. We're working on a schedule. Here on the island life, time is just easy peasy. Facilities are very basic, so you learn how to adjust. So again, it is all about the journey, and that's what I would like to talk about today. It's not really about the destination itself, but more about the journey. So how do you feel when I'm sharing that? I'm sure that one of you already have been abroad before. Let me know in the chat, like, how is it for you when you are traveling? Is it more about the journey, or is it more about the destination itself? Or maybe a combination? Let me know how you're feeling about this in the chat. See some people typing. A combination of both for me, I think. I love the journey, but also love the plan where I'm going and explore destination. Yes, I love that one. The thing is, I will get back to this one. Remember this one, Sana, because later on in this presentation, I will get back about planning the destination and choosing. So we will have better or a deeper talk about this topic. The journey, but also discovering new places, doesn't matter where in the world. I like that one. Keep that one as well in mind. It's going to be beneficial for later in this presentation. Let's see, Ninka. Definitely the journey when traveling. I really got to know myself and grow. I love that. Really, I do believe that that's something that will teach us, and we will really get to know ourselves. And let me dive into the next one because traveling, travel far enough to meet yourself. So Ninka, it felt like you knew where I was going in this direction. Nobody told me this before. Nobody told me that you can actually travel long enough or far enough to actually meet yourself. And what I mean with this is you can be whoever you want to be. So before we leave our home country, we are just Latoya, you're Judith, you're Sana, you're Ninka. We think we know ourselves very well. But when we are actually outside of our comfort zone, experiencing new things, you can be whoever you want to be. You can jump, you can scream, you can dance, you can laugh, you can do things that you normally don't do back home. So, for example, I would always wear makeup, always wear makeup in the Netherlands. Why? I don't even know why. Become a habit. It's become you wake up in the morning, you take your shower, you have your makeup on, and then after that, you start your day. Well, traveling, I started traveling with makeup on, but I gave up after 1 month. I said, hell no, I don't feel like wearing makeup. So why would I keep on doing it if it doesn't feel right? So that's just a small basic habit thing that has changed. But on the other hand, there are things that are happening along the way that you really get to know yourself. Let's put an example. I was so impatient, really impatient, like waiting and waiting and waiting. What will happen if you take a bus of 28 hours? You will learn how to be patient, isn't it? You will learn to actually embrace the moment there, keep yourself busy, be creative, and just be in the present moment. So if I ask you right now, what will you learn from traveling? I'm curious, like, what kind of things you might change or might learn while being abroad? For those who already have been abroad, might be easier to answer, but yeah, feel free to leave it. Let us know in the chat. And Saskia mentioned years ago, I was focused on the destination and the things which are there. Now I'm also focused on the culture and the energy of the people and the place. Yeah, beautifully said. I think it also changes within time and also like how long you have traveled. Because at the beginning of my journey, I also started traveling by exploring places until I really got to know myself better and better what I needed. And there I started swifting and starting like really listening to myself and what I needed in that actual moment. So Sana is saying, letting go of trying to control everything. Very good. Yes, I love that one. And be open for unexpected situations. Yeah, definitely. It teaches you to be open minded. If you're not being open minded, so really like having this unexpected situation get into you, like makes you feel like upset, frustrated, and you don't want to feel that way. Really, you don't want to feel that way. And there's nothing that you can do about other than changing the way we perceive those kind of things and how we are coping with those kind of situations. So I really love that one, Sana. And you did the Nick. Oh wait, I'm already Ninka. And I mostly learned to enjoy the little things and have more respect for the things you already have. Yeah, exactly. That's almost like practicing gratitude. It's like being aware of what you have and instead of looking at like what you don't have. So really appreciating the little things. For me, that was really being grateful to be here and living in freedom over the last 2 years and just simply having a coconut on the beach. And that's all I needed. And before it might be, I don't know, looking for new clothes, right? You want to buy new things. And and buy the newest phone and name it. But nowadays it's not the same anymore. You really get to learn to appreciate those small things. And the Nick is saying definitely what you already mentioned, but also freedom, just another level of freedom. Exactly. And that you can live with only one backpack and that you don't need anything else. Yeah, that's so true. It's like you just have one backpack. And honestly, I don't even know anymore what I have at home. My mom sent me some pictures with boxes that all the things that I packed. I have no idea what's happening in there. I don't know if I still fit the clothing, what is in there. Whenever I go back to the Netherlands, it's going to be a huge surprise. And at the end of the day, I don't miss those things because at the beginning, you really are like attached to it. You know, oh, maybe I will still want to keep this. Um, maybe I still want to keep this. Maybe I will use it later. You know, almost like 2.5 years later, really, I'm still going to use it. So it's like living very minimalistic, like one backpack. That's all you need. Some clothes, your phone. That's it. I see someone else tuning in. I couldn't see it on the waiting screen. So let me see. All right. Yeah. Viva is turning in. She's connecting, I think, to the audio. So that's perfect. Okay. So let's move on to the next slide. So basically, for who is this today is mostly for those who are new to traveling or want to travel in a different way. So it's going to be really big going back to the basics and really see like what do we need in order to start feeling confident and to travel the world. So you might be thinking, oh wow, I would love to travel the world, but how am I going to do this? You know, and can I actually do this? So this kind of sessions are really there for you to give you some guidance on what you can learn and what you can do yourself in order to feel confident and to make that step. So, what we will be talking about today is understanding yourself, how it would be if you could start traveling, the journey. There are 195 countries in the world, so let's choose. I don't have the money to, and safety while abroad. So, if anyone has a question right now, just let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I continue. Okay, I think we are all clear. Understanding yourself. So I know that some of you were also at the first masterclass where we have spoken about your why. You know, for everything that we are doing, it is very important to understand your why. Today, I would like to bring it up to a next level where we can actually see and know for ourselves, like how what is our why, but as well what we would like to gain or learn from these experiences. So we did it already like a little bit just to see like where we are at. You know, some of you mentioned I would like to get to know myself better. Some of you mentioned I would like to let go of control. So I would like you to take a moment right now and really dive deeper into your why and your understanding. So for those who were on the call last time, do you still remember your why that you let me know in the chat? Do you still remember the why you would like to travel the world? I would love to hear it in the chat. And if you're new on the call, also just let me know in the chat. So we know where you're at and like really having an understanding of your why. And from there, I will explain to you why it is so important to understand this. See some people typing in, so I'll give them a moment. Yes, Denise remembered her why. She said, explore the world, connect with new people, discover new cultures, and most of all, feel alive. Oh, I like that one. That's so true. I think Judith is still typing if I see it correctly. And Sana as well. I think have the freedom of doing whatever you want. Yes, exactly. You are in charge of your life, really, like with no strings attached. You are really in charge and you can do whatever you feel like. That's so true. So the reason why I think it is important for us to understand our why is because things are gonna get complicated. There will be some roadblocks along the way. And what I would like you to have is a clear understanding of your why so you can always return to your why. For me, it's like a passport holding me. Like this passport will always stay with me because I understand the reason why I want to travel the world in the first place. And it's not going to be easy to get there. Even to take the first step is just so important to understand your why. And I think combination with really to understand yourself, what you need and what you hope to gain from it, makes it like a total package. Like it makes it such a very heavy passport that is yours. It's your passport, and that passport will make sure that you will start traveling the world. It's like your getaway. And that's why it's so important to understand for yourself, like what the reason behind it is. We can all say, I would love to travel the world, and then dot. And then after that, when things are getting complicated or we are facing some challenges, for us, it is not clear that we are actually really want it, like really want it, because that's a difference. We can all say, I want to go to Asia. But if we are not having clear why we would like to go to Asia or why we would love to go on this trip and want to learn something, then at the end of the day, the action will also be different. Will we actually do it? Maybe yes, maybe no. But I do believe when things are getting tough and complicated, if you have this clear understanding, it's going to be so more beneficial for you. And you can really hold on to your passport. So Xana is saying, enjoy the freedom, explore new places, and getting to know new cultures. Yeah, exactly. Those are really good reasons for you to start traveling. So even if things are getting complicated, you get back to it. Sometimes things are not getting the way how you want. And there are also moments where, especially in these times, unfortunately, where, for example, you would love to go to Costa Rica and Costa Rica is for example, still closed, you will be disappointed and you have to cope with those kind of disappointments. So if you're trying to plan your trip and you are having those kind of feelings, it's not working the way I want, I'm feeling sad about this, and that's okay, that's part of the journey. But when you can go back to your roots and have this clear understanding for yourself why, and really want to know like why you're taking this trip, it's going to be so much easier for you. So I have a different question for you is, if you could travel today, what would you like to learn? Like it can be surfing, diving, letting go of control. Like Sana mentioned, what would you like to learn? For me, if I could travel to a different island right now, I would love to learn how to surf. Really, I'm gonna stand on a surfboard and I will have like a lot of like how you say it in English, bloopers. Yeah, bloopers. I think it's bloopers, right? Did somebody confirm? Is this the right English word? A lot of hilarious moments. That I will keep on falling off the off the board. But I don't care. I want to learn how to surf, So that's something for me, like a motivation again to move forward, to explore new places, and to learn something new. So let me know in the chat what you would like to learn. Maybe cooking, Indian cooking, Thai cooking. Learn how to make like the handcrafts, anything that aligns with you. Sana, thank you. That's exactly what it's all about. I'm starting also a coaching company, and if I face struggles, turning back to your key is the way out. Yeah, exactly. Is always the way out. Kite surfing, ooh la la. Want to learn Spanish? So cool. Same Spanish, surfing, and free diving. Cool. These are some amazing things to look forward to make sure to write them down, have your why ready on your paper, have ready like what you would like to learn. This is an activity, it's just something fun. There are a lot of things that we can learn about life, like about ourselves. And that's definitely very important as well. But don't forget about those new things, new experiences. Like Last month we tried as well free diving, and I felt alive again. I felt like maximizing my capabilities. I can do so much more. And by learning those new experiences, you expand your limits constantly. You embrace those new opportunities, those new experiences. So it is from all different kind of areas, like pushing yourself to get out there. And that's the reason why I'm sharing this. So it's all on different kind of levels of understanding yourself and see what it feels right for you. Personal level, but also just on creativity level or activity level. It can be in a hike that you would like to accomplish, something new that you have never done before. Like I'm from the Netherlands, and hiking experience, I didn't had any hiking experience, but still I went to Patagonia and I did like the hike there, and I was like, holy moly, this guy was telling me that it was flat. Now this was not flat, this was like going up and down, up and down. So I had some challenges along the way, but oh yes, I felt good after, being on the top. So it's all about those kind of experiences that will make you at the end when you're there traveling, make you a better person, make you push your limits further and further. But just remember to expose yourself, embrace those opportunities. Love that, Ninka, Saskia, perfect. And new mental personal is a good one. Yeah, very good. I'm very happy to see this going. If you have any questions, feel free to keep them in, put them in the chat. Then, so traveling the world all starts with an idea, right? A thought, something that pops up in our mind, like I would love to experience this. So, oh, sorry. So imagine yourself having your cup of coffee in the morning, or cup of tea, or maybe a glass of water, and wonder how it is and how it would be if you actually start traveling the world. Wonder what you will be doing, how your day will be looking like, because it's completely different than the life that we are having or had back in the Netherlands. It's a completely different lifestyle that you will be having. You will be waking up at different times. You'll be doing different kind of activities. So take a moment and visualize this for yourself. Like, how would you feel? What would you be doing? Those kind of moments are very important to actually keep you going and start working towards your dreams. Really wonder how would it be if I would be, trying to scuba dive? How would it be if I learn how to speak Spanish? How would it be if I will be standing on that kite surf? Visualize those moments and really start feeling like having those feelings of new things and experiences will help you getting towards your end goal. And your end goal is obviously, travel more, go 1 week to Switzerland, or maybe 3 months to Thailand, or maybe 1 year around the world. It can be anything, but the goal is, of course, start traveling more. And when you notice, and I'm wondering if this has happened the same for you, but for me, I was more, when I was back in the Netherlands, I was living in my thoughts. Like, oh, it would be nice if I can travel. How would it be? How are other people are doing it? But when it became more real, I started talking about it, actually talking about it, having a conversation, like telling my friends I was thinking of going to Colombia, or I was thinking of starting to travel the world. How is that for you? Are you currently talking about this with your friends, with your family, or are you still living in your little bubble? That's how I always call it, like living in my head, like dreaming about it, but not really like speaking about it. Let me know in the chat. How is it for you? I'm curious if more people are experiencing this, or maybe you're already sharing it with everyone. Sana is actually speaking about it with people. Cool. Have you noticed a difference, Sana, when you actually start talking about it, what it does with your energy? Like getting out there and really start talking about it. What is happening in you? Tell me. I want to hear all about it. It's like for me, when I started talking, it's like you can already see it, right? I get like lifting up. I'm really like excited. It's like it feels unreal, but I think I'm gonna do this. This kind of feelings. Yeah, I see Sana agreeing with me. It's so different when you actually start talking about it. Yeah, true. Ninka, I talk about traveling all the time. You did already talking about it. You did, how is it for you? Do you see a shift of energy when before it was an ideal, right? And now you're slowly talking about it more. Do you feel a difference? And I'm getting more excited. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's so true. So remember, for those who are maybe not yet talking about it, but really actually want to take action, talk about it. Have that conversation. Share that passion. Share your plans with people. All the things that you're thinking of. That you might want to go to Africa or you might want to go to Australia. Share those things because it will constantly lift you up. And what happens when we are lifted up? We are at a good energy level. When we are in a good energy level, we're able to accomplish things. We are getting closer and closer towards our goals. And it becomes more real. Really, it becomes more real rather than just having it only as an idea and just leaving it there and, running around in circles in your own thoughts. It's so different. And for me, it was also a reminder that when I was a child, I didn't get to travel that much. For me, it was also like a sort of a reminder for myself that I'm ready to explore those places. I'm ready to really see what's out there in the world. And that might be for some of you as well. We are not all fortunate enough that we have traveled already in our childhood. For me, I just went once a year on a holiday. And that's okay. And I'm very grateful for that. But I also knew it taught me that I wanted more. I wanted to experience more. So keep that in mind as well. So do what you love the most. So my number one, book your flight ticket. Book your flight ticket to any destination. And we got into the destinations in just a little bit. Just get out there and start exploring. It is actually possible. It is possible to make those steps. But all the little tips that I just have provided with you, you will already feel so much differently. It will allow you to meet new people along the way, and those people can be friends for the rest of your life. And that's amazing because it doesn't matter where in the world you are, you will always stay connected with each other and try new things. So I think those of the three are very important to remember, that all those things that we just have talked about, it is possible. It is possible to actually start doing it with the right mindset. And for me as well, every time I grow when I go to a new place. Why is that? Why is it that we grow when we go to a new place? Because you get to adjust. Every single time you get to adjust, and you are really learning yourself to be like in a different kind of environment. You have to find your way again. You have to find your places again. This way you really start discovering for yourself and really see like what's out there. And by doing so, you keep on growing. Like every new situation, every new encounter will you will grow as a person. So, okay, I'm just gonna close the chat for a moment because my presentation is not smooth. Okay, so at the end of the day, for all those things that we already have talked about, which is a lot, the most important thing is willpower. Really, really willpower. The reason why I'm emphasizing on this a lot is because it's not that easy. For some people, it might be easy just to book that flight ticket and go. But for other people, it might be a little bit more difficult. So remember, every step that you take is one step closer to change your life, is one step closer to travel more, is one step closer to, you don't have to be 3 months or 6 months. It can be just 1 week to Austria or 1 week to Spain. But every step you're taking towards this will bring you to this goal. So remember that. It's just willpower. It's in our mind that we have the power to make that change. So keep on talking about it. Keep on having these positive energies. Keep on sharing things about it because that will keep on lifting you up. And then your willpower will grow and grow and grow and grow. And then with this power, you can take that one step and one step closer. And I do know that some of you are already planning your trip. So I hope that this gets, even more excited to get going and get out there. So a little bit about my story. I already shared last time part of it, but I would like to share a little bit more. So as I shared previously, I am a person who grew up as a single child. Actually, I don't have any brothers. I don't have any sisters. Just my mom and my dad. And we only went on holiday once a year. Most of the time to Lanzarote, actually. That was my favorite island. And my parents, it was like this. So my father, he was working on container ships. So I was most of the time with my mom. Always in the airplane, I was like, looking at the flight attendants, it's like, yeah, yes, they have an amazing job. They keep on get to travel all the time. And that's gonna be my job for the rest of my life. I'm gonna study tourism and I'm gonna be a flight attendant. Only until I started traveling by myself when I got older, I was looking closer again to the flight attendants. Like, is this really something that is gonna bring me closer to my goal? I changed my mind. I was like, no. I still follow the tourism college, but I changed my mind about the flight attendant. It's like, no, this is not the way how I want to do this. I started working on cruises instead. I'm not sure if that was the right step, but hell, that doesn't matter. It's just a belief that we're having right there and then that I thought, oh, this is amazing. So what are you thinking when you see those flight attendants? Do you think as well, like, they're having an amazing job? Or do you say, no, that's not for me? Well, let me know in the chat what you think about this. Opening the chat. So seeing those flight attendants, you say, yes, that's me. I'm going to be a flight attendant, or no way, that's not for me. That's not my dream job. I used to think it was an amazing job, but actually don't have too much freedom and at each location I mentioned. Exactly. That was one I really started thinking it through. It looked amazing. It's like, oh, they are flight attendants, get to travel, have some money coming in. I said, that's perfect. Until I really, have a closer look like about their job. They're just serving food in the airplane. It's like, do I see myself doing that? Like serving food and then being at a new place for maybe a day or maybe a couple of hours. I don't know how their schedule is. It's like, I'm not really sure if this is really gonna be my dream job. You did saying as a kid, this was my dream job. Okay, I'm not the only one. It's like really this interperception that we are having from the past, like that looks amazing from the outside without even knowing all the facts. No, it's not for me. Ninka said, I'm kind of scared of flying. We have to do something about that. If you start to travel the world, we have to get you on an airplane there, girl. And same with Sana. Yeah, cool. So, all right. I worked on cruises, but just before that, I had one international trip. It was an internship, and that really made me realize that, okay, flight attendant is not going to be for me. So I went to Shanghai, China for 4 months. I lived there for 4 months. And at that time, things were different. We had Wi Fi, but only like Wi Fi, not in a sense how we are experiencing Wi Fi right now. I couldn't have a phone call like this at that time. It's like 11 years ago. Wi Fi was visible and accessible, but not the way how it is right now. So I was having like my black Nokia. I'm not sure if you still remember them. Just the small little phones, double with not even a colorful screen like with the iPhones, right? It's just like only numbers and a black and white screen or just a little light. And the reason why I'm sharing this is that for me in China, the people don't speak English. Number one. Number two is how the hell are you gonna, have a conversation or translate, yourself? How are you gonna have this conversation with them or ask for directions or order your food? I tried, I really tried to speak Mandarin. I really tried to speak a few words, but this was mission impossible. Because every word that I said in the wrong way, so I remember ni hao is hello, but if I would have put like the tones on a different way, I would have said a complete different word. So also with the Nokia, you had this sort of an app that you could, and not really an app, but like a phone number that you could call. and they spoke English, and then they will translate it to the taxi driver or to the the metro station, whatever place you where you were at. And things are so different now. We are so lucky at the moment where we have everything that we need. And at that time, it really taught me like being really in a foreign country and not able to have that conversation with a person is completely different, like really completely different. And I remember standing in an overfull metro, like really overfull, standing between all the Chinese people, and they're just talking, 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 and you have no idea what you're saying and what you're sharing with each other. Maybe they're talking about you, and then meanwhile they are blurping, farting, making all these crazy noises. The smells are getting insane, like literally insane. But still, when I was standing in a metro, I was like, yes, this is what traveling is about. This is what I want to experience more. It only took me like a long time, 7 or 8 years, for actually to be where I am right now. But those kind of experiences, they are there for the rest of your life. There are memories. You have learned from it so much. And that I still remember myself standing in the metro and saying, like, what the hell am I doing here? One point, but at the second point, it's like, this is awesome. You're just looking at them and I can talk. They will not understand me. They are talking maybe about me, and it's like we don't understand each other. And from there, it's slowly, slowly, life has some trial and error, and you're just experiencing and seeing where you're at is where I am right now. All those little action steps that you're taking in order for you to find out what is it exactly what you're looking for. So first, I started with a flight attendant. Nah, it's not going to be my cup of tea. Then I went to Shanghai. That's amazing. It was a great experiences. Then I thought, okay, I'm going to work on cruise ships. I did that for 4 years. It was, again, an amazing experience, but still finding the way of freedom. And why I'm sharing this? Because you're always on the clock. In Shanghai, I was on the clock because you have a duty to do. In the cruise ship, I was on the clock all the time. Yes, I was exploring all those beautiful places, but I was still on the clock. So there it comes, the journey. The journey I've shared with you last time as well a little bit. But the reason why I'm sharing this is constantly taking action to towards what you're looking for. I knew that I was looking for something, but I couldn't really put my finger on it. Like, what is it? The flight attendant, the cruises, or is it actually more freedom? Now I do know that I would love to live my life on my own terms and having that kind of freedom. But it took a journey of 10 years or 11 years or 2021. And I'm just sharing this is that never give up. Just keep on following through whatever you are doing right now in order to get closer to your dreams. It might be you would like to start a business. It might be that you want to travel full time or maybe just for 3 months. Just keep on practicing and experimenting for yourself. What is it that you're exactly looking for? Because the power of following through gets you closer every time. Remember that I shared before, like each step, all those experiences, all those years are just steps. I just see them as baby steps, following my way through the end destination. And this feels as an end destination right now, but who knows from now in 5 years? I don't know where I will be in 5 years from now. And that's fine. That's totally fine to not knowing where you will be. But right now you're in peace. And that's the most important thing, that you have been through this journey with ups and downs, hiccups along the way, but really finding out like where you're at and where you want to be. So this is just a little bit about my journey to get where I am right now. I think the biggest one is that I stayed right now here in the Philippines, to actually take that step again, because that is a different step from traveling the world. It's like being here in the Philippines right now it doesn't really feel like traveling. I will be traveling in the near future. Amazing new travel plans are coming up. But I can say I lived in the Philippines. I lived 1 year in Siquijor Island. I lived 1 or 6 months here in Bohol. And that is, again, a different experience than you're passing through. Like traveling is almost like passing through. You're maybe 1 week on one destination and then you move on, or maybe even faster. Some people are like flashbacking through the countries. And that's totally fine. Everybody has their own way of traveling. But I'm just sharing this is that there's so many different kind of aspects. And by taking the step in 2018 to actually start traveling the world, it brought me here. And by that opportunity that I took and really listened to myself and put everything in place to leave the Netherlands in 2019, I got to travel for 1 year around the world, which has been amazing. And then again, you get a new opportunity. Go back to the Netherlands or stay in the Philippines. And again, those new opportunities brought me here in the Philippines. I stayed here, I met my boyfriend, and we are building, further for our future. So that's why I keep on saying, keep on following through. And, the end will be there, for all of you. Everything is possible. Sometimes it takes 1 year, sometimes it takes 10 years, but with the right willpower and mindset, everything is possible. I see something in the chat is coming in, so let me have a look. Wonderful insight. Thank you so much, Saskia. I just want to share a little bit about my journey to get where I am right now. And let's see where we are at. Let's drop a chat, one in the chat. Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling excited? Drop a 2 in the chat if something is wrong, or just let me know in the chat. I see a lot of ones coming in. All right, we're doing good. Perfect. Let's move on to the next part. And remember, we talked a little about the destinations already, so keep that one in mind as we are getting closer right now. Most of the time, what happened is when we want to start traveling the world is, I don't know where to start, or I don't know how to start. The reason why is because it is quite overwhelming at first. It's really overwhelming at the beginning, and you're really looking like, okay, holy moly, what am I going to do and how am I going to do it? So I picked 3 common situations that happens all the time. 3 situations that I see that's going to be very beneficial for you to look at it in a different perspective. So the first one, okay. The first one, I want to go everywhere. So remember in the beginning, I said like, okay, I would like to travel the world. Dot. So meaning to say, I would like to travel everywhere. Okay, that's amazing. There are 195 countries. So it's good luck. It's gonna take a long time for you to start traveling. But that's not actually the point. The point is to really understand yourself and see what you're looking for in life. And from there, you can really start narrowing down those destinations. And again, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey itself of you, like all of you who already start preparing your trip. It is the journey. It's like the journey itself from taking that first single step towards choosing a destination. And that can be any of the destinations. It's not really that important for you to have like visit all the 195 countries in the world. What is way more important and what's going to bring you so much more is that you can see, like, that you can really experience the journey. Another part is what I see happening often, and I had a conversation with one of the girls. She would love to go to Australia. And one of the girls would love to go to Australia, and she has been waiting for it for 2 years right now. And I wonder, what if we are very fixed on sorry, Australia is not open right now. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but Australia is slowly opening now. But at that time when I had a conversation, Australia was not open. So she really, really, really wants to travel, but it's confining herself to Australia. I'm curious for you to know from you what you think about that. What do you think that will happen when we are fixing ourselves, like our mindset, on only one destination, and that destination is closed? So what happened is that you basically are waiting for 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 4 years until the country is gonna open up. What do you think that will happen? Let me know in the chat. If you're only fixing on being fixed on one destination. You will never go. Exactly. Exactly. That's one of the things. There are a few more other things. I'm curious what you guys can come up with. You limit yourself. Exactly. That's already two. Experiencing limitation, probably frustration in the end. Yes. So what happened is that you're limiting yourself. So ask yourself, like, if is in your situation as well. I don't think so. I think you guys all have very open destinations right now. But if you're being like limiting yourself or only want to go to Australia, then you're closing the doors for any other opportunities. And that does something with a person. If you're closing one door, you feel frustrated, you feel sad, you feel down, you feel, get into these negative vibes. And on top of that, you also, there might be a possibility that you don't go anymore. And again, there are 195 countries in the world. So you can choose from the other 194. And I'm sure if you're actually willing to take the step and if you're actually willing to start this journey, you can choose. You can choose any destination. So this is one part that I want to share with you that I hear quite often. The second one that I hear quite often is, yes, I would love to travel the world. I'm jealous how you're doing it. I wish I could do this, but I don't have the money to travel. I wish I had the money to travel. I wish I had that bag of money just, in my suitcase and just go. And on top of that, I need to have a lot of money because traveling the world is expensive. What are your thoughts about this? Let me know in the chat how you're feeling about money. And is money maybe limiting you for the possibilities? Just be honest right here. Is money a problem for you? Is money an obstacle? Or is money flowing and money is not a concern? Let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the money aspect. Money has been a concern for me, but I'm slowly getting out of that mindset. That's me right now. I really want to travel, but I just don't know how to afford it. And Inka, is that also because you think that traveling is expensive? Let me know in the chat. Definitely, Judith, definitely doesn't have to be expensive. Saskia, maybe and maybe. Question of how to work and travel both. All right, I like that one. Yes, okay, good. All right, I will get back to this in just a little bit because there's another one that I would love to share with you is safety. Safety is a very important thing as well. The reason why I'm sharing this is that sometimes it might be used in a limiting way. In a limiting way is we are making ourselves believe those kind of things. So let's imagine I would like to travel the world, but I keep on thinking, what if something happens abroad? Or I would like to travel, but I'm wondering, can I do this alone? Or I cannot do this by myself. These are all like limiting beliefs that we are talking, we are just talking to ourselves. And by saying all those things, we actually start believing those things. But it's not true. It's really not true that this can stop you from traveling. So I'll dive deeper into this as well. How are you feeling about the safety part when it comes to traveling? Let me know in the chat. Feels very relatable, especially the solo traveling part. Not at all, no issues for me. I did it this year. Yeah, I remember that, Saskia. That's so cool. See, you did this, I think, typing. Yes, I think you shouldn't do things that you. I think I think you shouldn't do things that also wouldn't do in your home country. Yeah, totally. think I'm a little bit scared of traveling alone in a new country. Agree. Yeah. I think it's also an image that is created by people who are not traveling. Exactly. Yeah. Very good. I like this. Okay, let's go to some new insights on what we can actually do. Okay, let me change this here. Something went wrong here. One moment, please. Okay. So we already talked a little bit about the destinations, and again, it is step by step, um, working towards the destination. So one part I said, all right, so I can travel. I would like to see all the countries in the world. For me, it's like it's very important to narrow it down. So why? Because otherwise you will just be feeling overwhelmed, and at the end of the day, you will tell me I cannot choose. As simple as that. When you feel like overwhelmed, then automatically your mind starts exploding. So that's why it's very important again to go back to your why, back to your understanding, and really see what you will be needing. So for those who would like to learn how to kite surf, that is something that you can also implement and see, oh, which country is kite surfing very famous. It's also something a way of looking at the destinations. And another thing, if you would like to go scuba diving, of course, don't go to South America. South America is not really a country for scuba diving, but rather focus on Asia. All those kind of things are very important. In this way, you start narrowing all those destinations down. The second thing is remember the story that I shared about Australia. So the good thing is about the story is I had a conversation and I said, hey, you're closing the doors, girl. You're really closing the doors because there are so many possibilities out there. You can actually start traveling the world today. And if you're willing to expand your horizon, if you're really want to for yourself, really to look into this and see what is happening. Because again, it is about the journey itself. It's not always about the destination. And yes, I am with you. It is the destination is also very important, but there are 195 destinations. So if we are expanding our horizon and we keep the doors open, there will be new opportunities and possibilities for you out there. So in this case, the girl decided to look into a study exchange abroad, maybe to Spain, maybe to Lisbon. And that's totally fine because it doesn't always have to be at the other side of the world. It's just about like experiencing for you to be abroad, like taking that first step. And then after that, who knows, maybe Australia is open or you might change destination. And by constantly being open to receive and being open to new possibilities, this is how we get things done. If we are being closed and really tell ourselves like, yeah, Australia, no, Australia is still closed, we get in this negative energy. We really put ourselves down and you keep on waiting and waiting, and the years are passing by. And before you know it, you haven't taken that action. So that is one way of looking at the destination. It will actually help me as well as lot when I was, working on my travel plans in the Netherlands. I started in South America, and I was really looking like, what am I looking for? I was looking for exceeding my limits, like really pushing my limits, like doing some hikes, things that I was not used to. So South America was a great continent for that, in combination with the Spanish language, in combination with the culture. So it was like a whole bundle of things. Like, oh yes, South America is going to be a good option for me. This is exactly what I need and what I'm looking for. How does this sound for you? Let me know in the chat, like on like the open conversation, like open to receive, having these kind of possibilities, and as well matching the destination with your needs, like what you would like to learn, how you would like to experience this. How does this feel for you? Let me know in the chat. Mm-hmm. Image is great. And go travel solo. You meet a lot of new people, so you won't be all by yourself. Exactly. Yeah. Aspirational, especially matching the destinations with your needs. Cool. Okay. So for us, in order to start traveling, we need money, obviously. I am well aware of that. But by creating a negative thought about money, so in this way, like I don't have the money, that is, we are saying it in a negative way. I rather would like to challenge you to think in solutions. So let's think together right now and really come up with a plan quickly on what everyone can do in order to generate the money. And again, I'm just going to be straightforward. We don't have to be rich. It's the new rich. You don't need to have a lot of money to start traveling the world. We don't have to be rich because it is not expensive at all. It is somehow we think it has been expensive, but it is not the case. So, what can we do today to get one step closer to not feel that like I don't have the money or the money is a big concern? What do you guys think? That's all right, Sana. You already let me know. Thank you so much for joining. So Janique is saying, yes, it's so true. So there are some few things that we can do in order to start, to have like a more positive mind. So I would like you to think in a solution right now. What can we do to get one step closer? Or maybe there are ways of traveling that are really, really not expensive. All right. So one of the things that you can really do is look at number one is cleaning up. Definitely cleaning up. That's the first thing that I did. I sold my car. I got already $6,000, 6,000 euros, just like that. That's one thing that I could do. Secondly, is if you are living with another person or if you like costing, sorry, if you're having your own apartment, you're able to rent it out. That's the second thing that you can do. The third thing that you can do is slow travel. Thank you, Danique. I know you are reading my mind. It's backpacking, for example. So while being abroad, backpacking is really not expensive at all. It is really cheap. Asia is one of the cheapest country where you can backpack for a relative um, cheap day amount. And when I say cheap, I have traveled here in the Philippines with the lowest that I had on a day was like 11 euros with a hostel, like a dorm room, food 3 times a day, island life, 11 euros. And that's nothing. And then we can go extreme where you have maybe 50 euros a day. It's all depending on the destination and also how we are traveling. So that's are a few things that I would like to share with you. And on top of that, how about having a local experience? So we can still start traveling the world even with a very small budget. But have you thought about volunteering? That's something that we can do to already have like, our living there where we don't have any cost for any accommodation. Couch surfing is another way of really getting the cost low. So that is something that is not necessarily needs to be an issue for us to hold ourselves back from actually starting to travel. And again, there are so many things, but I already see that we are quite running out of time. But for you to understand that traveling is not expensive and there are ways of getting closer to your goal. So I hope that this was helpful. And the last one is how are you feeling yourself? Like about safety. The last one was about safety. How are we feeling ourselves if you're walking in our capital, in our country? I wouldn't feel safe to walk alone by myself at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. or at midnight in Amsterdam or in Rotterdam. Oh, this is also something that I'm not doing by myself when I'm in a foreign country. I am not going to walk in Buenos Aires at 12 midnight alone by myself over the street. So I take precautions. That is one thing of, for me, is like common sense on how we are feeling as a person, but as well, like, what would I be doing back home? Would I be walking in Amsterdam? No, a feeling of confident, like really feeling confident. When we're walking on the streets, like have your shoulders like backwards, like really feel confident. and don't walk as a small person. Like really show that you feel this way. You also feel good. You can. You are capable. So what I would like you to challenge you is to actually start writing those things down. Like start believing that you can do it. You can be by yourself, and start having those affirmations for yourself. I can travel solo. I can travel by myself. I can travel in a foreign country. Have those, things really change for you, because this way, if you really start talking to ourselves in a positive way, you really get closer to that belief. Because again, I have traveled in South America by myself, and I never felt unsafe. But mostly because I was just, feeling, using my feelings, like really using my feelings of common sense. I was never doing things that I was also not doing in the Netherlands or any other country. So I hope that this is helpful for you to get one step closer of feeling more confident. Because again, at the end of the day, um, it's not impossible. It is just the belief that we have created for ourselves. I hope this was helpful for you. Let me see. Of course, at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is just go and see what happens. So I hope that all the insights that have been provided for you have gained more clarity, and I hope that this was beneficial for you. And I would love to close this with two more last things. One of them is you only live once, and I do know that it is the end of the year is closing in. We have only 2 weeks left. So I'd love to take a moment of reflection here right now, and how has traveling been part of your life in this year? So let me know in the chat how traveling has been a part of your life. Saskia saying personal growth. Um, yes. So I would love to end this one with you only live once. And I do know that 2021 is almost closing in. The final weeks of the year are here. And I would love for you to take a moment and ask yourself, how has traveling been part of my life in 2021? How has it been for you? So let me know in the chat. Okay, I think that Judith is typing, so I just give her a moment. This year I didn't travel as I was planning to. Okay. So let's take a moment and look forward. So how do you think that 2022 is gonna be? How do you excuse me? How do you think that traveling in 2022 is gonna be part of your life? Let me know in the chat. Is it gonna be more active, or is it gonna be the same as this year? Follow your dreams, hop on a plane. I love that one you did. Has been amazing and brought me so much life lessons. I made a lot of friends all over the world. That's awesome, Denise. And I'm pretty sure, Nick, that for you as well, 2022 is going to be all about traveling. Ninka, I couldn't travel last year, but thinking about it gave me more clarity on the reason why I want to travel. I love that. And Ninka, and if you ask yourself, how is traveling going to be part of your life in 2022? Would you be able to answer that? All right, let's just give Ninka a moment. Yes, absolutely. Share your story and mindset thinking. Love it. Cool. I think Ninka was still sharing something. I think it will help me with my personal growth. Yeah, exactly. So Are you looking in right now to make traveling a bigger part of your life for the next year? Okay, I will just give her a moment. I'm planning my minor abroad right now. Cool, that's awesome. So I think for everyone, traveling will be a part of our lives. Even maybe it was not that present this year. Next year, it's going to be a good year full of new travel memories. And I hope that this really helped you to get closer towards your travel goal and give you this inspiration, and that will actually help you to start traveling the world. And on top of that, last but not least, I have created something extra for you guys. For those who are interested, I have created a travel challenge really to get to know you a little bit better, but most importantly, for yourself to get one step closer again to that goal to really start traveling the world and really taking clear action steps. So, if you're interested for this travel challenge, just reach out to me after the masterclass. I will be more than happy to get you started. All right, these were some final thoughts for me. Remember that everything is possible. I hope this really got you going for the end of the year. Make some new travel plans for the upcoming year. Get yourself going. And if you feel stuck, if you really want to talk about it, just let me know and would love to hop on a call with you. So let me know in the chat what has been your takeaway of this call. I would love to hear you. So, you're most welcome, Saskia. I'm happy that you enjoyed it. And thank you for being here. And I hope I also got you going on your travel inspiration for next year. Unique, very inspiring. Any takeaways from you guys? Anything that really sticks with you during this session? Everything is possible. You just need to believe it. Very beautiful. Cool. Hmm. Change your mindset. Yeah, mindset is so important. And the funny part is this it's important with anything in life, business wise, personal wise, any topic in life. Mindset is so important. Yes, as long as you want it, you can go after it. Exactly. Exactly. This is about willpower. It's about mindset, the way how we talk to ourselves, and again, in so many aspects of our life. So I hope I get you going on this Sunday. Feel free to reach out anytime. And thank you so much, and see you all on the next one.